Hey everyone, I'm Amina and welcome back to my channel, Amina Inspired. Today I'm talking about something that's very close to my heart, and that is how do we communicate when there are contrasting views about COVID and vaccines. So I'm actually in my kitchen. This is in my home, and I'm going to be joined in a few seconds by my husband. And so I'm going to talk to you about how we are coping with the fact that we have very different views and stances on the vaccine. So um, here we go. This is my dear husband, Wazir.
Hello, everyone.
Wazir, this is everyone. So, just a disclaimer before we start, which we both agreed upon. Um, when it comes to vaccines, those of you that are elderly or have elderly family with comorbidities, we strongly recommend that you get vaccinated. And this is because the science has proven that those that do get vaccinated and then get COVID afterwards, they have much milder symptoms. So I'm putting it out there, and for those of you that know me, you know that I'm serious because I'm actually quite passionate about my position. But this we can both agree on. Yes, it's a necessity. Okay, so with that, just some background. Wazir and I both had COVID in July of 2020. We both recovered on the 4th of August 2020. The effects were long-reaching afterwards. The cough, light sensitivity, brain fog, that stuff is real. Okay, and then yesterday he got his second shot of Pfizer, and he's fully vaccinated, and I am not. So I'm not at all vaccinated. I do, however, have antibodies because I did a blood serum test. So that means 13 months after infection, I have antibodies. I'm so happy that. But that means he probably also has the antibodies from that as well. So I want him to explain why he decided to get the vaccine, and then I'll explain why I decided not to get the vaccine, and then how we cope with these contrasting views. Go for it, guys.
Okay, so I got the vaccine for two reasons. The first one was that I noticed that my parents were very afraid of the vaccine. It looks to me like they're very afraid of COVID, but more so they're afraid of the vaccine, and they question the safety. They might even be questioning whether the virus is real or not. And the virus, obviously, as we all know, is very real. So one of the reasons why I decided to take it, because I mean I'm the second eldest in my family, was also to show them that it's completely safe, even for somebody like me that had COVID, has the antibodies, and doesn't actually even need to take it. So that was the one reason. The other reason was also that when I was sick with COVID, myself and Amina, I realized that it's quite crippling, the sickness itself. I mean, we had moments where we were quite scared. So I took it also to protect myself potentially against reinfection, so that if that is a possibility, because we've learned that from the first infection that we both got it at the same time. So most likely a similar scenario might play out. And I thought to myself, I don't want to be as helpless as I was in the first infection, where there were some days where we couldn't even make it to the kitchen to make food for the kids, or I had to just wait until my fatigue went away before I could go and change my son's nappy. So it was more a question of, how can I make things easier for me the next time around, and how can I be more functional and better at it. So yeah, those were the two main reasons.
Yeah. And also, I have to tell you, he is not a zombie, and I'm not minimizing people's fears. I really am not. That's not my aim here, but I was also worried. Okay, so I've checked. There's no magnets that I can attach to his arm. Like for real, I saw those videos, guys. I was also scared. And he's perfectly normal. He seems to be quite well. Obviously his arm was a bit sore after the shot. But I actually went with him yesterday, and I was proud of myself. Remember, guys, we are all on this journey of emotional intelligence and growth. So the first time we went, I was heartbroken. I felt like I was going to lose my husband. He was going to die. And now with the second shot, I went with him to support him. Okay, and so that was a whole growth thing for me. So it's super important that we learn and grow together. And trust me, it doesn't happen overnight. Okay, so the first thing that we agreed upon was that we would not call each other names. Now this might seem obvious, but I think a lot of people are doing this. They're like, you're an idiot
Mm.
because you vaccinated or because you're not vaccinated, sheep and all. So I was like, it really hurts me, and I'm going to just jump in time. And the reason why it hurts me is because most of us have kids at my age, right? And you have to understand that kids don't always listen to what you tell them to do, but they're always watching. And so the other day, weren't we in like a bit of a back and forth here in the kitchen, and then very passionate about our stances for and against the vaccine. And our 7-year-old daughter walked in and she said, "What if you're both wrong?" That was her question, and she walked out, and I was like, "Wow, the wisdom of a 7-year-old."
Truth.
Yeah. And the thing is, what's factual today might be completely untrue tomorrow. We might find out that that wasn't actually true. So a lot of us are standing on our facts. And look here, I'm an academic and I know I've got Prof. Fielding. He was in my previous video. He's going to be in the next video. Very interactive. Email me. My details in the description box if you want to be part of it. But ultimately, my point is that I do want to know, I want to be informed. But if I come to him every day, here are my facts, here are my facts, here are my facts, he comes to me, here are his facts, all the children are seeing is that mommy and daddy are not getting along. They're calling each other, names. We are teaching them how to disrespect their parents or their aunts or their uncles or their grandparents based on their views. And I think that is really the worst thing that you can do. So stop it, right?
Yep, absolutely.
He's a man of few words. Okay, secondly, and this was his idea, I love it, is to go on a COVID fast. Okay, so by that you mean what?
Yeah, so basically, we came up with the idea that when we start, well, seeing as we couldn't get along with a lot of the COVID factual information because there's contrary research to some mainstream research that's out there. And we've decided that, we'll take a break from talking about COVID because at the end of the day, guess what? It's not going to change COVID. It's not going to make the virus go away. It's the virus is still around. The fact that me and my wife disagrees on it doesn't mean we're killed, and it doesn't mean that anybody else is killed. So we decided that let's drop it. And when we do talk about it, and we tend to disagree, and we see it's getting heated, we try to, either one of us, to just say nothing, walk away, and pick up the conversation again later.
Just respectfully.
Just respectfully walk away, and
just say, let's talk about this a bit later. Or remember that there's other things that might be at play. You might be hungry, you might be tired, you might have gotten some bad news, and then dun dun dun. And also, I mean, I hope this is not TMI, but before my periods, he tells me to not talk about COVID before you get your periods. Because then I go off on a tangent. Okay, guys, it's true. So also become aware of where you are in the day. Like if you are, or in your week, if you're very stressed out, maybe don't pick up on the one thing that you know that you and your partner are in total disagreement with. Okay, so I love that, a COVID fast. Take the notifications off your phone. If you're in the car, the DJs love to talk about COVID. Just put on a CD or a MP3 or whatever it is, or just put off the radio and just detox from all this COVID business. Okay, it's going to be good for your brain. So let this be the last video you watch for 24 hours on COVID, I hope. Okay. The second thing that is very helpful, I think, is to find spaces of commonality. And the only way you can do that is by being grateful. Okay. So we do this thing called the grateful game every night with our 7-year-old. Our 4-year-old is not talking that much yet, but we kind of like fill the gaps when we try to imagine what he's grateful for. But our 7-year-old does it every single night, and I do it and he does it. And so you have to ask yourself, besides COVID, okay, what do you have to be grateful for in your family network, in your community? I'm feeling very shy not to talk. But you see, the reason why that's so important is because a lot of people, we focus so much on COVID and the vaccines. The people that are arguing, guess what? They are healthy. They are happy. They're not happy. They are healthy. They actually don't have COVID, because when you have COVID, you don't have time to argue. So right now, we can be grateful for the fact that we're healthy, that our kids are healthy, that they're at school, thank God.
It's so important that you mention that, because when you do have COVID, firstly, yes, you cannot argue about whether it's real or not, or which vaccine is better. There's no way. You are just tired, you are worn out. But most important of all the fact gathering, going to the Google and checking how much more extra facts you can use to fight with other people and argue about. You're actually too scared to look at Google when you have COVID because you're experiencing symptoms that's completely new. I mean, a common cold in all my history of having a cold throughout my life, I've never experienced loss of taste and smell. I've never experienced light sensitivity and that level of fatigue.
And extreme fatigue, that
that is extreme fatigue. I compared it to, because I'm a runner, I compared it to the last 2 kilometers of a marathon. That's basically where you're at with COVID fatigue. Well, at least for me. Some people have mild symptoms. I'm not saying everyone's symptoms are going to be the same. But yeah, that's basically it. So when you do actually have the virus, you don't have time to argue about these small things.
Yeah, so that's one thing you can be grateful for. Like, oh, next time your partner or your mom or somebody with a contrasting view is like passionately, saying that they do or they don't, whatever. Just take a moment, breathe deeply, because people that have COVID really can't do that, and just be thankful that you have the luxury of complaining and arguing. We forget that. And how many days, hours and days and weeks have we been missing out on important family time because we spent it talking about COVID? It is a damn shame. Okay, so find ways to be grateful. I like to, when I get bad news, I like to go straight to the gratefulness. Like if I hear something that really hurts my heart, then I say, you know what, I'm so thankful, and I can think of a million things to be thankful for. And that helps me to kind of recalibrate from the bad news or from the hurtful thing that somebody said. So Prof. Feuding said this beautiful thing. He said we shouldn't be practicing social distancing. We should be practicing physical distancing. So keep your distance, wear your mask, sanitize, but connect with the people that love you. There's Zoom, there's YouTube, there's Facebook, there's WhatsApp. There's so many ways that we can still, send a message and say, we love you and we miss you.
But yeah, just on that note, I mean, charity begins at home,
and that's the third point, actually.
You always sweep your own front door first before you sweep somebody else's. So the same with COVID, if you, like Amina mentioned, if you want to expand on activities that you can do with your family instead of arguing about COVID, start with your home family first. If the arguments are happening inside the house, in the kitchen, in the bedroom, whatever, do other activities at home that doesn't spark debates and arguments.
That doesn't include all that stuff.
It doesn't include COVID. Like, I mean, we so simplistically, myself and Amina will sit in the yard with a cup of coffee. It's free.
Because I clearly need decaf.
It's free of charge. You can make your own coffee inside, and we just sit in the yard.
And we look at the birds and the sky. And I know that sounds weird, guys, but it is so much better for your health to spend some time in peace, right? Instead of fighting and arguing and feeling hopeless and depressed and all those other things. That actually will make you sick. That is 100% will lower your immune system. So the third point that was it actually segued into was, if you're feeling horrible and things are not great in your house, give. Start giving, letting go. So give of your old clothes, because a lot of people have cupboards that won't close. So give of your old clothes. If you have an organization that you trust, give them money. If you don't trust them, give them stuff. If you know me, I can tell you that I know a wonderful, wonderful organization. It's my cousin's organization. So we're all close. I'm close to all my cousins. And I can see the work that he does on the ground. And so if you want to be part of that, get hold of me. My details are below. I'm like an open book. So I'm an open book, kind of. But I'm very reachable, and I want you to know that the best thing to do at a time like this is to connect. Don't withdraw from society. Don't get so scared and so fearful that you're all alone. And you're teaching your kids also to be fearful. And that's so super sad for me. That's the worst thing we can do for our kids.
Yeah, I mean, I are involved in a feeding project, food project. And it's part of the sort of charity that we want to give. And the one thing positive that I love about it is it brings us together. We look forward to those days.
I like to cut onions because I don't cry.
We look forward to the days where we can go and cut the onions and carry the pots and pack it into little boxes and get it ready for the distributors to come and collect.
Yes, and can you see that has got nothing to do with COVID? Yes. So when you start giving to humanity, when you start doing something outside of yourself, you stop worrying about the minutiae of what this person said and that person said.
Yes.
Just focus on you, focus on your family, focus on improving, reach out and know that you are not going insane. Whether we won't know until maybe 10, 20, 30 years time what the best decision was with regards to the vaccines.
Was
But we know one thing. Treating your partner, your family with respect is never going to go out of style. And showing your kids another way of dealing with contrasting views
yes.
is something that is going to give them confidence and not fear.
I just
So
want to
that's
say
yeah.
to highlight the importance of charity in this point in time, and I really think that, with all the fear that there is at the moment about the virus, some people are generally withdrawn. And I can say, I've got people that I know very closely that have even lost their jobs during COVID. So there's loss of income at the moment. People are hungry. I'm not stressing only on food. I mean, it's loss of income means generally no food, no clothes, no nothing. So if you can, take that time instead of wasting time talking and debating about how COVID is real or not, or whether the jab works or not. If you have extra resources or money or time on your hands, give that in charity rather. It's much more constructive.
Yeah.
You might have a neighbor down the road that doesn't have a plate of food tonight.
Yeah.
It's that close.
Yeah.
It really is. If you look for it, I promise you. Our front door is busy here where we stay with people looking for food, and I try from my side. I'm not saying everybody should, because there are COVID protocols and so on. If you are a little bit scared and you've got comorbidities, and it's fine, I understand that. But for me, that doesn't have as much comorbidities. I'm comfortable making sure that I always have something to give somebody that knocks at my door.
Yeah.
Because at the moment, where else must people get food from?
Yeah.
So
you can see he's passionate about it. He's talking a lot about that.
Yeah, we can all play a part. It's better to do this than to debate about what COVID vaccines and whether Bill Gates is involved and all those things.
Yes, I totally agree with you. And the thing is, at the end of the day, if you guys want my personal view, my personal stance, blah, 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 I will definitely make a video on that. But I think the most important thing is to recognize that we are a family, we are a community, we are a nation, we are humanity, and we need to pull together. And by making fun of one another and diminishing one another, all we're doing is diminishing ourselves. So please reach out. We got to run. This is almost 20 minutes, very long video. I hope you watched it till the end. And if you did, and you want to join the live with Bertie Feuding, Prof. Feuding next week, it's a Zoom live. You can ask a question or you can make a comment. Please email me. My email address is in the description box. And yeah, we will chat to you soon. So that's bye from me and Wazir from our kitchen.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Wishing you all the best. Much love always.
God bless.